Before I say anything, I just would like to give all thanks and praises to the great mother and father who created the heavens and earth, who created my parents, and in return, he created me. So therefore, the creator resides in my consciousness. So when I look at my mother and father, I see the image of the creator. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I see the image of the creator. So I just want to give him thanks and praises to my creator. But this video is pretty much, I just want to shed a light on the Easter celebration, because I know a lot of my people are still celebrating this pagan rituals, and pretty much they don't know where it originated from. So pretty much it's like Hosea 4:6, when the creator says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because we don't know. It's just like we don't know a lot of this religion's where it originated from. Is we are participating in this religion because it's what we saw our parents doing, and we just continuing, and pretty much it's ignorance. Not to disrespect anybody, but it's a saying that we always used to say in Freetown. If not even in Freetown, if somebody jump off a bridge, are you gonna jump off the same bridge? No. Just because you see your parents are practicing this religions, are you gonna practice the same thing? No. You have to research. You have to do research. Research is the key. And you also have to use discernment, and discernment is to distinguish truth from lies. Our people needs to wake up. Our people really needs to wake up. Look at Africa. Let's take Africa for instance. Africa is the stronghold of the black man. But is Africa ruling itself? No, Africa is not ruling itself. Africa is still being governed by our oppressor, the Caucasian, the white man. So don't take Africa as, Africa is, this is the black man's stronghold. No, it's not. Everywhere you go in Africa, or everywhere you go around the world, the black man is at the bottom of the map. Yes, the whole world is in slavery, by the elites. But look at who's suffering the most. Because you, black man, you were supposed to be the leader. You were supposed to be the leader, but what happened? You fell. You started doing what the other nations were doing. So that's why God is using these nations to punish you until you wake up. But sometimes it's gonna really take a miracle. That's why in the book of Jeremiah 23 verse 1, the creator says, I have to come for my people, because Christianity and all this religion is pretty much a cross of no return. Because Christianity, when you delve deeper, Christianity, the Islam derives from Christianity. These are the same people that created all this religion to it goes all the way back to Psalms 83, where all this nation conspired against you to bring you down, and he used religion to do that. You have to wake up, black man. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. So I'm just gonna show you a definition for the word discernment, so you guys can see, the word discernment, what it means. Just don't take my word for it, because discernment is to distinguish between truth and lies. So I'm just gonna show you the definition so you can see it for yourself, and just don't take my word for it. I'm gonna be presenting you with a lot of information. What I want you guys to do is actually to look at this information and read it for yourself and come up with your own conclusion. Just don't take my word for it. So let's get to the definition and see what it means. So now we're going to take a look at the word discernment, and let's see what the word discernment is. Like I said, folks, we are learning, and it's not to show nobody off. It's not to say, oh, this person is, trying to show off. Now, I want you to see the meaning of the word discernment. Okay, let's go. Discernment. the faculty of discerning, discrimination, acuteness of judgment and understanding, the act or an instance of discerning, judgment, perspicacity, penetration, and insight. Pretty much what this is telling you is to discern is pretty much to tell truth from the lies. So further ado, let's get to the video of Easter. Bear with me, folks.
Around 2800 BC, there lived a hunter named Nimrod in Babylon, which was located between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. Whenever wild animals threatened the people, he protected them with his power. As people respected and supported him, Nimrod became arrogant and incited people to build the Tower of Babel.
Come, let us build a tower that reaches to the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth.
Such deeds of Nimrod that were against God has continued even after Nimrod had died. Semiramis, Nimrod's wife, insisted that Nimrod became the sun god. She cut Nimrod's dead body into pieces and sent them to each tribe of Babylon. People regarded the place where a part of Nimrod was buried as sacred. She also claimed that Nimrod was reincarnated as her son.
The sun god Nimrod was reincarnated as my son Tammuz. He who believes and follows Tammuz follows Nimrod.
As Semiramis ruled over Babylon in place of her young son Tammuz, she maneuvered people into worshiping her. Monuments of Semiramis carrying her child Tammuz in her arms were set up all over Babylon, along with various images symbolizing the sun god. The sun worship and the mother-child worship, which was a scheme devised by Semiramis, put down roots as a religion of Babylon. Idolatry stemmed from Babylon, spread to many countries after the Tower of Babel collapsed. It is because when the Babylonians were scattered over the whole world, they brought the sun worship and the mother-child worship. The sun worship and the mother-child worship were assimilated into the cultures and religions of many countries, and they came to have various forms and names. Nimrod, the sun god, was known as Mithra in Persia, Sol in Rome, Ra or Horus in Egypt, and Apollo in Greece. Semiramis and Tammuz, who were the start of the mother-child worship, was called Isis and Horus, Venus and Dionysus, Diana and Attis, and Astaroth and Tammuz, respectively. Besides these, the image of goddess, who is holding a baby in her arms, was venerated in many countries of the world. If so, was the mother-child worship the creature of an age, which was especially welcomed only in Babylon? Surprisingly, the mother-child worship of Babylon has been passed down through the thousands of years and still exists today. In Vatican of Rome, we can find the mother-child worship in its original state.
Alright, so now we're going to get to the second video of the origins of Visitors.
This is a story of Easter, a deliciously wicked tale of subterfuge. The story begins with an exposition of the word Easter, which is derived from Estre or Estrae, Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and fertility. While some sources quote a Teutonic or Germanic influence, it is quite clear that the word has nothing to do with Christianity. Estre is simply one of a multitude of spring fertility goddesses and is derived from ancient spring fertility goddesses starting from Ishtar of Babylonian times, Ashtoreth in Judaic tradition, Beltis from Nineveh or Assyrian tradition, Astarte from Greek tradition. These fertility goddesses are often described as cruel and wayward. Worship of the spring fertility goddess finds its way back to the worship of the Queen of Heaven. Here in Jeremiah 7, we note that cakes were made to appease the Queen of Heaven. Our traditions now have hot cross buns. While the term Queen of Heaven is used in the Catholic tradition to be representative of Mary, it has its origins in quite ancient times. This is Isis from Egyptian times. The term Queen of Heaven, however, seems to be derived from Semiramis, who was married to Nimrod. Both these figures either founded Babylon or had a large hand in building it up. Eusebius mentions them as being alive during the time of Abraham. However, their main influence on current times is the development of the mystery religion. From them stems most, if not all, pagan traditions, and their gods and goddesses are based on the initial Semiramis, Nimrod, and Semiramis' son, Tammuz. Here's what happens when Nimrod was deified as the sun god, while his wife Semiramis was deified as the queen of heaven and earth and also of Mother Nature. She was often represented by the moon or the crescent moon. It was believed that when Nimrod died, his spirit went to be with the sun, and then Semiramis later became impregnated with a ray of the sun. Thus was born Tammuz, who was the reincarnation of Nimrod. This was the beginning of the mother-child symbolism in pagan culture, who the child was the husband-son of the mother god. Here we see a few representations of that relationship. On the far left is Semiramis holding her husband-child Nimrod. In the middle is Isis and Horus. Top right is a representation of Mary and Jesus in the same role, and bottom right comes from Indian culture. Take particular note of the halos behind Jesus and Mary, which represent the sun, and harken back to the old traditions of the sun worship, which was founded in Babylon. Here we find a list of gods grouped in their father, son, mother relationship. Those on the left are derived from Nimrod, the centre from his son or Tammuz, and the right are derived from Semiramis. Tammuz is present in the Bible as Israel turns away from God and start weeping for Tammuz. This weeping was an ancient tradition based on the fact that Tammuz was cut down in his prime and died while hunting at the age of 40. pagan tradition maintains that Semiramis and Tammuz came back to life for 6 months starting in spring, and there begins the spring goddess. 40 days of Lent is simply derived from the number of days the ancient people mourned for Tammuz, 1 day for each year of his life. Legend has it that when Semiramis died, she was too beautiful to go to heaven and was returned to earth in an enormous egg, which crashed and opened on the river Euphrates, revealing the naked fertility goddess whose first act was to change a bird into an egg-laying rabbit. The rabbit and the egg were then adopted by the pagan religions as a symbol of fertility. Here is Ishtar's egg with her symbol of the crescent moon upon it. The story of the red egg is even more disturbing as it stems from a pagan tradition of sacrificing a baby in the time of Easter, dipping an egg in the blood and presenting it to the respective fertility goddess. The baby was 3 months old as it had been conceived 12 months earlier, the previous Easter, as a priest had had sex with a virgin. This was an ancient fertility ritual. Even the humble hot cross buns has its origins in pagan tradition. The buns were presented to the Queen of Heaven, and the T on it actually stands for the first letter of Tammuz. Here are several representations of the cross or the T before Jesus Christ, and also in Greek writing it is often used to represent Tammuz with his identification with the sun. Here's a picture of Tammuz with the typical T banded across, and the T is also seen here with a picture of Nimrod in the top left hand corner above the star. This is a cross in the middle of the sun, and is also seen in other pagan cultures, such as this is in Indian culture. So even the hot cross bun has a story to tell. So you may be asking, well, how did all these pagan traditions become Christianized? Well, it started with Emperor Constantine, a Roman emperor who in 312 AD had some sort of experience with a T in the sky which he used to defeat his enemies. He believed this to be of Christ and then went on to Christianize pagan practices. He made Christianity the official religion and converted its practices to fit in with pagan traditions. So the humble rabbit is not quite as it seems.
But there you have it, folks. That is just a brief history on Easter. I mean, there are a lot of videos online that goes in depth on the origin of Easter. But like I always say, I try not to make my videos long, so my people can actually get the point of where all this, tradition originated from. I know it's going to take time. It's going to take time for my people to get out of this, this religions and all of this evil practices. It's going to take time because it's something that has been innate in us as since we were born. And in our parents, you have to go back to the book of Hosea 4:6 when the Creator stated, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge," because our parents rejected knowledge that they were supposed to give to us, and in return they told us lies. So that's why the Creator says, "I will also reject you and your seeds," because what you're teaching your children are lies. It's time to wake up. It's time to get out of all these evil practices. So I would like to thank the Creator for all of this knowledge, and this knowledge is supposed to be shared. I want you guys to share this knowledge and to wake our people up, because we are struggling as a people. I'm talking about black people. The whole world is struggling, but we are worse right now. We are at the bottom of the map. Wherever you go, we're at the bottom of the map. So we have to wake up. We have to spread this knowledge and to wake our people up. So I would like to thank you guys for listening. And it's going to be a time that these videos are not going to be available online anymore. All this video that's teaching the truth are not going to be available online no more, because YouTube and all of this social media, they are censoring things. They are censoring things. So you have to start downloading a lot of these videos and keep it so you can teach your children and let them know and let them teach their children. Because it's really sad. It's really sad that my people are still into all of this tradition. Thank you guys. And may God bless us all. And also I'm also gonna show you guys some scripture verses on that I wrote, so you guys can actually check these verses and read it for yourself. And because don't take my word for it. Just don't take my word for it. I want you guys to actually read it for yourself and just wake up. Thank you.